Good afternoon, OTYB alumni, and to my success group. Tina Mitchell here, coming with you with this week's OTYB challenge. Again, this space has been created to help you with the implementation of one-timing your business. It's an extension of the time that we spent together, the powerful 8 weeks that we spent together during the burn. Everybody that is in this space, as it's a private group, have graduated and again, part of the alumni group. So this week, we're still working on creating a habit to one-time your business. Your habits are the results that you produce. And if you want different results, you must be willing to create habits. New habits, because your good habits or your bad habits, it doesn't matter if they're good or bad, those habits are going to create the results. So again, if you want different results, you have to be willing to create different habits. Now, there was 3 parts of the mind shift to creating a habit to one-time your business. Last week, we talked about rejoicing in the small successes. That was what it was all about. And actually, it was the week before, because last week I couldn't make it online here with you guys. So I'm going to try to come up with a way. If for some reason there's a week that I can't make it live, which that would be a one-off, because this is on my calendar as a regular event. But if something comes up, I'll figure something out moving forward. So I missed you guys last week. But the week before, we talked about rejoicing in your small successes. That's the first mind shift to creating a habit to one-time your business. The second mind shift, which is going to be this week's challenge, that's about taking the hard road. And the third mind shift in creating a habit to one-time your business is rejoicing in your failures. That's going to be next week's challenge. So let's stay focused on the task at hand for this week, which is all about taking the hard road. Are you up for the challenge? And Terry, I want to thank you as well. I'm not looking at the Facebook live right now and who's on here. So Terry, if you are, I apologize for that. But Terry, I wanted to thank you for posting in what success is. And if everybody's on the Facebook group, go ahead and take a look at Terry's post. And I love that. And yes, it's so true. And the first thing that was mentioned on there was the hard road. So in spirit of what we're going to be talking about today in this mind shift. So the hard road, what that represents, as I shared with you during the burn, it is change. Willing to do things differently than you're doing right now. That's what the hard road represents. And for majority of people, it's hard to make changes. Why? Because you've created a habit to do it a certain way. So that's why, in spirit of creating a habit, which is what one-timing your business is about, is creating a habit to one-time your business. The reason one of the mind shifts is taking the hard road is because creating a habit is making change. So that's why it represents the hard road. But once you create a habit to always be taking the hard road representing change, you will actually notice that the hard road is no longer the hard road. It actually becomes your easy road. It becomes easy street, because you know exactly where that's leading you. You know, by taking the hard road, representing making change, doing things differently than what you're used to doing it, you know that that's going to lead you to easy street. So the hard road isn't always taking the hard road. It's just creating the mind shift to taking the hard road. And eventually it will become the easy way for you to do business. And that's when everything starts changing for you, when you're constantly looking at a better way to do things. And you may ask, why doesn't everybody do that? Why not take the hard road and be willing to change, especially if you know that the way you're doing things right now are not serving you at a high level? That's what the craziness is because people continue doing things the way they're doing them now, and they know that it's not getting them the results that they want, or they know that there's a better way to do it or a more efficient way to do it. But because that habit has been created, that's the difficult part, is creating new habits. So if you remember back to the burn when we started out in week 1, I challenged you to do something different than what you normally do in your personal life. So I'd like to open that up for you this week as well, because it's representing and taking the hard road. It might be brushing your teeth. If you brush your teeth with the right hand, try this week brushing your teeth with your left hand. And not just this week's challenge, but continue to do that. Continue throughout forever to do something in your personal life that you normally would do one way and do it a different way. The reason why is because you're allowing to open up this space for you to do things differently and be willing to change. Because once you're willing to change, it opens up a whole new way of doing business, a whole new way of always improving and looking for a better way to get the results that you want. And that's what one-timing is all about. So you must take the hard road to get the results that you want. You've heard the saying, no pain, no gain. You must pay the price to get the results that you want. So what is that price? The price is being willing to change. Again, that's what the hard road represents. This road is definitely the road that's less traveled because majority of people are not used to doing things differently. The majority of people that you look at have created their habits and that's what they stick with. And so it's going to be a road that's less traveled. If you want what others don't have, you must be willing to do what others are not willing to do. And that's getting out of your comfort zone. A habit is your comfort zone, and being willing to look at doing things different. Again, that's what this week is all about, is taking that hard road with represents change. So if you want what the majority has, then do what the majority does. Continue to do things the same way. Remember we talked about the rat race and spinning around on the hamster wheel and constantly putting out fires? That's because the lack of willingness to be able to change and look at a better way to do things. If you want the results that very few people are willing to, you have to be willing to do what they're doing. And you'll notice that the best of the best in any industry, best of the best in life, they're always looking for a better way. Look at all of the leaders in any business. They're constantly changing and adjusting. Now, once you create this mind shift of taking the hard road, which represents change, you will actually notice as time goes on, the changes that you're making are not big changes. You're going to start with big changes, completely looking at adjusting everything that you're doing. And we went through all of this during the 8 weeks and the different topics that we talked about, which we're going to be spending time one tasking on each one of these. I just want to start creating that mind shift for you first as we work in and start dialing in deep to each of the topics that we went over during the 8 weeks, because I need to set the mind shift first, and that's creating a habit to one-time your business. So when you start to make changes, the changes are going to be big changes initially. But once you create a habit to one-time your business, when you have the mind shift to taking the hard road, which represents change, then you will eventually get to the place to where you are doing all of the core things that you need to be doing to be successful in business. And now you're just adjusting. The change is just making adjustments, and you will always be continuing to make change. But again, it gets easier as you create that habit to always be looking at doing things a better way. So do what others are not willing to do, and then you'll have things that others don't have. Again, trying to create the visualization of what is around you for most of your day, and the people that you're connecting with are the majority that are producing the results that you don't want. Taking us back to the 80-20 rule, majority of people that you're around on a daily basis are not producing at a high level, and those are not the ones that you want to model, but you want to look for the best of the best and guarantee they're all taking the hard road and changing things and adjusting. The hard road is committing to making change in your business, committing to make change personally in order to get the results that you want. You can't improve and grow. Your business can't improve and grow without change. Your business can't thrive and strive without change. So, everything in life changes. It's whether or not we're willing to adapt and change with the things that are changing around us. So for my real estate agents that are in this space today, there's a lot of change that's happening in your industry right now. And no matter what industry that you're in, there's changes that are happening, but there's different seasons in your industry where sometimes the season there's not much going on as far as change. There's change happening all the time, but not a lot. And there's others times, seasons in your industry where there's some big adjustment or big change happening. So right now in the real estate space for my realtors that are part of the OTYB Success Program, there's definitely change happening. You know what those changes are. And so really, you can either embrace those change or you can continue doing business the way that you're doing it right now. And the problem with that is you're not keeping up and changing as the times are changing in your industry. So think about that this week and what's happening in the industry and how you need to be adjusting in order to adapt. The first step is always the hardest step. So when you're creating a mind shift to be willing to change, look at the way you're doing things now and change those. The first step of creating the habit to do that is the hardest step, and things will get easier. And I'm here to support you. So during the week, if things come up that you need support on in the particular challenge that we're all working together with, that's what this space is about. I encourage you to share in the Facebook space. You can always call me. All of you have my number. And because I one-time my business, I've got plenty of time for you. So I really, really want to be here to support you. The hard work's getting started, but once you start, you're going to produce that compound effect. Once you get rolling, you know, when you're starting to go downhill a little bit, as you go down further, it starts to go quicker. You start to go down, and maybe that's not a good illustration. Nobody wants to go downhill in a negative way, but you see where I'm going with this. So you need to get started, and then that you will start producing that compound effect. You must work hard to get the results that you want. And working hard is changing. But once you, again, create that habit, it's not hard work anymore. It's actually fun work because you're always looking for new ways to do things. So if we go back to the one-timing exercise, the one-timing exercise is where you're making notes of all of the things that are coming up, calls and emails, questions, requests, objections, and mistakes that are coming into your office. By the way, this should be an exercise that you're continuing to do. That was part of the graduation. We'll get to that in another week as well. But stay committed to making note of things that are coming up into your office, questions, requests, objections, and mistakes, because these are where you will find the opportunity to one time. This is where you will find the places that change is needed. And for those of you that are part of the OTYB Success Group and that you have members of your team, you should be having them do this as well. And coming together and really focusing on a weekly basis where change needs to happen. So you, if you're a sole entrepreneur or with a team or not, have blocked on your calendar that once a week you are taking a look at where there are opportunities that you can make change to one time. When you commit to taking the hard road, again, it will lead to easy street for you. Shortcuts don't produce the results that you want. If you think about a lot of things in life, and we talked about this when in rejoicing the small successes. Taking shortcuts did not produce the results that you want. Remember the Chinese bamboo tree? All of the water and fertilizing? That is the small successes. So rejoicing in your small successes will allow you to continue to take the hard road, which is making these little adjustments and changes in your business. Having confidence and belief and knowing that your bamboo tree is growing. You're building that foundation to be able to support your business. If you try taking shortcuts, then it can't sustain that growth. So if you look at lottery winners, statistics will show that 70% of them would be better off not winning the lottery at all. And excuse me, I've got something stuck in my throat today. I've been doing a lot of talking. And these lottery winners, some of them could barely pay their bills. And then they came across millions of dollars. and they ended up worse off than they were when before they had that winning. Excuse me. And it's because they did not have the foundation to support their success. And that's why this process is so important, so that you can sustain the huge success that you will have in your business. Procrastination is when something's not important to you. So making a change, taking the hard road, which equals change. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, excuse me. Welcome to a Facebook Live. When you are taking the hard road and being willing to change, that is not procrastinating. So majority, when they know they need to make a change, representing the hard road, they'll procrastinate. And, well, I'll make that change tomorrow, or I'll do it the day after tomorrow. And even if you say I'll do it an hour from now or tomorrow or next week or next month, it's just as damaging. Procrastinating for a day or procrastinating for a week, it really is going to have the same impact. If you procrastinate, most likely that's not going to get done majority of the time. And procrastination is just because something is not important to you or important enough. And so this week, I also want you to be thinking about asking yourself what is important to you and what your why is behind why you want to take your business efficiency and your lead generation to the next level. Because that why is what's going to drive you to keep you from procrastinating. And so remember, we talked about during the burn of to ask yourself, is it important to generate, to create, or to manage? Because in any industry, as an entrepreneur in sales, you need to generate, create, and manage. So generating is generating your business. That's doing all of the activities that we talked about for touch points, your power hour. We're going to get into that into a future week as well. Creating is creating and developing new ideas. So taking time to where you can actually focus on the implementation of that change that you need to make to take your business to another level or to create a new program or a marketing idea. We're going to go into all of this as we get into the future weeks of our success program. And last is to manage. Manage is managing the activities that you have currently with the clients that you're working with. So to generate, create, and manage are important. Those are things that need to be blocked out. And this is taking the hard road and really being able to commit to certain times that you're going to be doing things. And we'll talk about that as well in a future week. So again, to go back and know your why. The why is going to prevent you from procrastinating and to really take the hard road this week and make change. Majority will say, I'll see it when I believe it. Or if I see it, I will believe it. I say have faith in what the work is, and if you believe it, that you will see it. So believe that every step that you're taking in the direction of making change and the hard road is going to serve you well. So this week, make a list. So here's the challenge for you as we wrap up our time today, is to make a list of all of the things that seem hard for you to do, that you know you need to do. What are those list of things? So kind of like when you're budgeting and you're making a list of things that you need to purchase, you may not get them all the first time around. And so when you sit down and do this week, there will be things that you'll definitely miss. But when that comes up, I want you to go back to this list. So we talked about task management in week 2, and whether you use Asana or Evernote or Trello or wherever you're managing your tasks, create a project for this. And make note every time something comes up that you know that a change is needed in this area of your business. This is going to be a powerful week for you just in this exercise. if you create this project of where you need to make change, and you're not going to be able to do all of these changes at once, but recognizing of these areas so that you can implement and be able to one task in these areas that you need improvement. And I bet that all of these areas that you make note, we're going to be dialing in at a deep level as we do our weekly success challenge as we get through this 12-month program here. But keep this list. So that's part of the challenge this week is be willing to make change, do things differently. Let's start out with making the list so that you can have a list of what those things are, and then start taking one of those at a time and really tackling that. And I'm gonna challenge you during the success program as we go through this each week. I'm going to challenge you to be taking the hard road. And so every challenge is going to be doing something different than what you're doing now, but it will serve you well. Or maybe you're already doing this at a high level, and that is wonderful. Maybe you implemented it through the burn, and that's wonderful. So you can relook at it and see if you've got it at the highest level whenever that challenge comes up for this week. So next week, we are going to continue with creating a habit to one-time your business, and the 3 mind shifts that you need to do that. Again, we already worked on rejoicing in your small successes. This week we're working on taking the hard road, which represents change. And next week we're going to wrap up the mind shift, which is embracing in your failures. So that will be the challenge for next week. So hello, Jeff. How's it going? Any questions for those of you that are online today, or any comments that you have that you want to share before we wrap up our time here? All right, I really appreciate you guys. Danielle, thank you for joining online. Jeff, thank you for joining online. And I'm here this week. If there's anything that you guys need, please reach out to me and let me know. Post and share any challenges that you're having this week, and I'm here to support you, and really, again, want to be able to create some masterminding and opportunity for all of us to connect at a high level. Terry, thanks for the comment here, and thank you, Terry, so much for posting last week. And I'm not sure if you've been here the whole time or not, but I love that post. I'm sorry I actually didn't comment on that. I will do that, but it was definitely in spirit of what we talked about today. I will take care of myself. Thank you, Terry. And have fun at your friend's or at your son's wedding. So it's perfect. So wonderful. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. I'm here to support you. Let's make some great advances in our business. So if you can make great advances in your business, you can make great advances in your life. If you can make great advances in your life, that really frees you up to make a difference in your community and make a difference in the world. And that really is what one-timing your business is all about. It's about making more out of the time that you have so you can make the difference that you want in the world. And we're not doing it alone, but we're all here together. So I'm here to support you. All of your peers are here to support you as well. And I appreciate you guys. Have an amazing Wednesday. And I will see you here live next week, next Wednesday, same time, same place at 12. And if there's anything that you need from me, let me know. All right, guys. Bye.